Ooh, greetings, shit. Oh, Jesus. That was out uncalled for. I'm sorry about that. Let's move past this. Welcome to Movies with James. Today we're talking about Doctor Strange. I just saw it. Just got out of the theater. I saw the wear sunglasses in a dark room and pay twice the price version. So it wasn't the best, experience, but I got past that. I'm not a big Marvel fan. I'm not a comic book guy, but I'm a film fan. So I go to see this movie, not expecting the best, but not expecting the worst. My big issue with Marvel movies is that they're kind of just made for these fanboy cults. They're not really made for people who like movies. I get that. I understand that they're fictional movies, obviously, but the problem is, I feel like even if the, fictional aspect of the movie was real, it wouldn't play out the way they depict it. It's like a fictional portrayal of a fictional situation. It's just so fake. Like if Thor was real, would the government employ him? Tony Stark has an impenetrable suit and doesn't give one to everyone on the team. They thaw Captain America out from an ice block from 1940 and then let him be in charge of a high-tech military operation. The Marvel movies only add to the insanity of the modern world. Donald Trump is the president? Bruce Jenner is a 60-year-old woman? Paul Rudd is Ant-Man? The world is a comedy skit. Anyways, back to Doctor Strange. Alright, so Doctor Strange got a 90% on Rotten Tomato. So the movie stars Benedict Cumberbatch, the human version of what Voldemort would look like if someone would give him back his nose. Rachel McAdams, who is known for playing average attainable girlfriend roles, but in reality is so fucking hot. Tilda Swinton, a great example of what aliens would look like if they secretly invaded Earth and pretended to look like us. The guy with the bloody eye from Casino Royale, and this guy. I'm not even gonna try that one. It's surprisingly directed by Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister 1 and 2, Devil's Knot, and The Day the Earth Stood Still. More like, the day I left the theater, I'll leave now. So Marvel was like, hey Scott, you do a lot of movies about child possession and torture. Do you want to do a movie about, I don't know, a magical wizard named Doctor Strange? I'd love to. So that's how it works there. So the movie's a classic superhero origins tale with a very strict way of telling the story. First, you introduce some successful, rich person, and then they have some kind of issue. Think Tony Stark when he was kidnapped by ISIS, or when Bruce Wayne had his little bat anxiety attack. So happy person, conflict, and then they learn a new skill. So they learn the new skill, and now they're a superhero. But immediately when they become a superhero, oh no, someone's trying to end the world. So then they take their knowledge from becoming a superhero to save the world. Classic superhero origins tale. Happy person, problem, redemption, bigger problem. Save the world. Simple. Doctor Strange, happy doctor, breaks his hands. He learns magic, and then someone tries to end the world, and he stops them from ending the world. It sounds dumb when I say it, but the movie's a lot better. They basically just did what I just said, but they put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. So let's talk about the goods of this movie. I actually really like this movie, and I'm not a big fan of Marvel movies usually. The biggest thing was that around midway when he's learning all of his chakras and time manipulation stuff, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. This is so neat. I gotta start meditating. I gotta start reading chakra books. I gotta start astral projecting. Wait. This is bullshit. This is a movie. This is bullshit. I gotta go buy some power crystals. I gotta go get some incense. Stop it. This is bullshit. This is a movie. This isn't real. Don't waste your time. So that frustrated me a little bit because I thought it was real, but I'm like, okay, it's not real. But you get this sense of like, what if it is real? What if I really can go through dimensions? Stop it. It's a movie. It's fake. Don't do it. I did download a meditation app though, so they kind of got me. But I like how they got me attached to the movie. I wasn't just like, okay, this is dumb, this is stupid. I'm like, this is actually kind of neat, and I'm liking what's going on. The reason this was is because of the effects. Whoa. You think Interstellar's trippy? Watch Doctor Strange. It's just like, the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey? Oh, it's like that if they had, the technology or the money. It's great. The whole thing is like he has the power to go through dimensions and harness time and space and stuff like that. It's very Rick and Morty-ish. If you like that, you'll love it. Who doesn't like Rick and Morty though? Doctor Strange and his little posse, they kind of have the ability to remake the effects of Inception with their hands. So yeah, like they can just go Inception. That's kind of the power they have. It's like they can incept you from outside your dreams.
I never sleep on planes. I don't want to get incepted.
Overall, it's just a really cool movie. Like, usually these Marvel movies are kind of dumb and stupid, like with shields or arrows. With these kind of movies, you're not gonna go, wow, the motif is so strong. The portrayal of characters is amazing. This is such a good allegory. No, you're gonna go, wow, this is cool or not cool. And it was cool. The biggest problem with the origin movies is that they all have the exact same high and low points, and they're so cookie cutter. At the beginning, you're like, oh my god, this is so cool, I'm learning about this cool rich guy's life, all this cool high-end stuff. Then a problem occurs, and you're like, oh my god, a problem, how is he gonna get rid of this? Then he solves the problem, and then once he kind of gets the little hint of superhero, you're like, okay, now he's just gonna have a problem, and he's gonna save the world. And you get bored after that. So that's what happens with the movie, of course. But this movie had a longer retention though. Usually it gets bad about, 60% of the way in. It didn't get like boring and like I got what's going on until about like 75% of the way. So they kept me kind of entertained for much longer. There are a lot of just talking though, just like they'll have a fight scene and like, okay, let's discuss what just happened so people who are dumb can understand what's going on. So a lot of dumbing down. But what do you expect? These movies are literally made for idiots. One little thing, you know like how they like to add humor to movies? They like to add little jokes. I understand they're gonna be dumb, cheesy, stupid jokes, but this one was literally the dumbest joke. Like there's a guy who has the name Wong, and so he says, oh, your name's Wong, there's no last name, ha ha ha, you're like Beyonce, ha ha ha, you're like Beyonce. Then he calls him Beyonce, and then the guy's listening to Beyonce after that. Like, it wasn't even funny, it was so stupid. I feel like they're literally making this movie for idiots. I'm totally against the eugenics movement. If you're gonna make movies for idiots, might as well lure them to a certain location. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop myself there. Let's not go. This movie's very anti-Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is really the culprit of the problem here. If it wasn't for the brand Lamborghini or the car Lamborghini, there'd be no problem. Because he's driving his car way too fast, he crashes, and the dashboard just destroys his hands. So that screws up his doctor practice. So do not buy Lamborghinis, especially if you're a surgeon, because you will break your hands if you crash them. Lamborghini, we will crush your hands. The last bad thing, I just want to expand upon the whole, save the world thing. The antagonist is just this gang of ponytail guys with pink eye. They're just pissed. We want to end the world. We want to bring evil powers to Earth. There's some kind of portal open. We got to close the portal. Blah, 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 blah. Classic superhero movie. Can we at least just do a different ending to movies? Can we not wrap it? Let's just leave cliffhangers. Let's not wrap them up. Let's just end the movie with the ponytail guys at large. Let's try that maybe. I don't know. Alright, let's rate this movie. I do it on 5 categories. Story, acting, production, creativity, and watchability. Let's do it. Alright, the story. Besides the cookie cutter concept, it wasn't actually that bad. They had a great narrative with him losing his hands, and then he becomes a wizard. I hate saying the word wizard, but I feel like there's no other way to describe what he is. He's a wizard. He's an interdimensional wizard. Story is solid. Nothing to complain about. It wasn't as bad as many Marvel movies have been. They added some fresh concepts. The jokes sucked, but what do you expect? It's for idiots. They definitely dumbed down the dialogue to make it more easy for dumb people to understand, but it wasn't at all bad of a story. It wasn't a terrible story. Actually, as a Marvel film goes, the story was great. I'm gonna give it a 4. Acting. Benedict Cumberbatch, this guy, whoa. He knocked it out of the park. Very good actor. Tilda Swinton, she's great, but she may be an alien. We don't know. Rachel McAdams did a great job pretending she's not as attractive as she really is. Good job there. Acting's a 4.5. Production, this was killer. I mean, whoa. Remember when Inception had their whole crazy wall going up stuff? And we're like, wow, that's the cool stuff. Doctor Strange just blew up that concept by 1 billion. I'm gonna need to give that one a 5. Creativity. It's hard to rate these movies because it's a comic book, so they already had the story there. They took artistic liberties, of course, with him being in Lamborghini and it being modern day, and the names of people and their Beyonce joke, which was a bad decision, of course. I'm gonna give him a 2.5 on creativity. Lastly, watchability. See, the watchability, it goes up really fast and it kind of slows down. It goes up a little bit, then it drops down to 0. I'm gonna give it a 2.25 watchability. 4 plus 4.5 plus 5 plus 2.5 plus 2.25.
The answer is 18.25.
18.25 times 4.
That would be 73.
73. Official score of Doctor Strange is a 73. That's a great score for a movie because it got 90 because it's a Marvel movie. They all get high-ass scores for some reason because they're really, oh, that's so cool. A magician? Ooh, neat. It's not a movie. It's a superhero origins movie. You can't compare this to A Clockwork Orange. You can't compare it to Contact. You can't compare it to E.T. or The Shining. Like, how could you compare this to the story of Finding Nemo? That's an actual story. This is just like ooh, I'm a superhero now and I saved the world. Boom. So a 73 is a great film based off it being an origin movie. A 90 is ridiculous. 73 is an amazing job for a Marvel movie. You're welcome. Alright, some final thoughts on Doctor Strange. I highly recommend you go see this movie. It is entertaining, it's fun. You might get a few moments where you're gonna glance at your phone and not pay attention, But the ones where you watch the movie, you're gonna love. You know, the cool space stuff, and you're gonna think for a minute that this is all possible if you meditate and read books. It's not. It's not. We're all screwed in this boring world we live in. So if you want to distract yourself, have a good time, pretend you're not alone in the universe, even though you're extremely alone and no one loves you, go watch the movie. It's a fun time. Bring a friend. Don't bring a friend. It doesn't matter. Get some popcorn or sneak in some corn nuts if you don't have any money. Problem solved. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this episode of Movies with James. It has been a fun time. It has been a good time. It has been a strange time. I wonder, why did no one ever go, hey, your name's Dr. Strange? That's pretty strange, you know that, right? It's really weird. I'm not gonna let you operate on me. It's a weird last name. You can't operate on me, Dr. Strange. Anyways, have a good life. I am gonna go watch another movie.